Good evening, Oberlin Magnet Middle School families. This is Principal Gade. Tonight I'm going to walk you through on how to access your child's classes starting Monday, August 17th. We're excited for the first day of school. The first thing that you're going to need is you're going to need your child's schedule. And you could have either picked that up on Wednesday, a hard copy when we did material pickup, or you can access the schedule via Power Schools online. If you have that schedule in front of you, you'll need to denote which classes are Core 1, Core 2, Core 3, Core 4, Elective 1, and Elective 2. And so Core 1 just refers to the first core class that you have. Remember, the core classes are math, science, social studies, and language arts. So period 1 doesn't always necessarily mean Core 1. Period 2 doesn't mean Core 2. It's just the order in which you have your core classes. So the first core class you have would be your Core 1. The second core class you have would be Core 2. For instance, 7th grade has their first period as a Core 1, but then they go to elective classes. So their second period is actually an elective class. So when you're determining Core 1, Core 2, Core 3, and Core 4, you're just looking at those 4 core classes, math, science, social studies, and language arts, and putting them in order. The same with your elective classes. Whatever elective class your child has first is Elective 1, and whatever elective class they have second is Elective 2. Once you have that, you'll be able to use the schedule that we shared to identify when you're going to have your classes. So on Monday, we are starting with this schedule. So we are having kids go to their classroom because we believe that it is going to be important for them to get back in the routine and the structure for the first quarter. So it is important that they familiarize themselves with this schedule, get comfortable logging into class. And I'm going to walk you through what they're going to need to do. So Mondays and Wednesdays are math and social studies days. So if your child has math or social studies for Core 1, they're going to need to log into that teacher's website at that time. So how do you do that? Well, if you go to the Oberlin website, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to log into your Wake ID. So if you click that, it'll take you to the Wake ID login. This is mine. You see I'm logged in up here. But if you're not logged in, if your child's not logged in, they will need to log in. Their Wake ID is their email, the beginning of their email address, like mine is dgaudet. And then the password is something that they changed it to. Most children will know what their Wake ID and their password is because they had to access Wake ID quite frequently in the springtime. If you have any questions about Wake ID or password, don't hesitate to reach out to your counselor or your grade level administrator. Once they do that, we've created what's called a Symbaloo, and it's right here. It's right front and center at the page. If you select that, it'll take you to our Symbaloo page, which organizes all of the teacher websites onto one user-friendly screen. And you will see that it is separated by 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, elective classes, and then some additional resources here in the center. Because we're in the process of changing names, what we've done is we've put the team leader's name associated with the team. This will also be helpful as you're looking at your schedule to see which team that you're on. So if you happen to be in 6th grade and you have Mr. Anderson as one of your teachers, you're going to be on the Anderson team. When you click the Anderson team, you will see the different tiles that populate with the different teachers on the Anderson team. You have Miss Deaver, Miss Lee, Mr. Boehm, Mr. Anderson, and Miss Jakubowski. And so when you click on any one of those links, it will take you to their website. So if I click Miss Deaver's link, it will take me directly to her website. And I'm able to view information, to get updates. And the same process is going to be followed for whatever your team is. You would just click on the team name of the team leader and then click on the tile if you're trying to access. Now, what you're going to find is that sometimes when you click on a teacher name, it'll take you to Google Classroom. Now, because I signed in at Wake ID, it takes me to my Google Classroom site where I have different classes that I'm enrolled in. When your child clicks on the Google Classroom, it'll take them to their Google Classroom. And so they'll see the classes that they're enrolled in. Now, if they're not enrolled in that particular teacher's class, that's not a problem at all. There's a plus button in the top right here where it says create or join a class. The students will be joining classes. How do they join a class? Well, when you try to join, it'll ask you for the class code. And what we've done, again, if you go back to the Symbaloo, there's a tile that says Google Classroom Codes. So you click on that, and it has all of the teachers that are utilizing Google Classroom, their team or their department, their subject, and what their classroom codes are for each of the classes. So Core 1, Core 2, Core 3, Core 4, those are the codes right beside it. You just copy and paste those codes into it, and you add that classroom, or your child will add that classroom, so that when they log into Google Classroom, it'll populate right here on the screen. Now remember, the two learning platforms Wake County has issued is either Google Classroom or Canvas. The nice thing about Canvas is when your child logs into Canvas, when they go into their Wake ID, the Canvas icon is right there, and they'll be able to log into any Canvas classes that they have. For a nice tutorial on how to access Canvas classes, Coach Miller has done a wonderful job. And so if you click the Helpful Living, he's our coach, go to Coach Miller. There's a nice little video that shows you how to access Canvas classes. But again, it's in your child's Wake ID, and so those are for Canvas classes. So what you're going to need to do on Monday is look at your child's schedule to see if they have a Core 1 that's either a math or social studies class. If they do, at 8:15, you're going to find the teacher via the tile that they're on, the team. You're going to click that teacher's tile, and it's going to take you right to their website, or it's going to take you to their Google Classroom, and you're going to be able to begin instruction. One thing I'd like to mention is, unfortunately this year, Miss Elvers has retired. She's done a wonderful job over here at Oberlin over a number of years. A lot of families have had the privilege of having their child be taught by Miss Elvers. So with Miss Elvers retiring, we've had to do a little bit of changing of teachers to ensure that everybody is taught by a certified teacher. So if you are on the Virtual Academy 8th grade team, which is Mr. Kowaleski's team, if you picked up your schedule, or if you're looking on it online, if you see it that there's not a teacher's name there, or if it says ELA Teacher 3 or Social Studies Teacher 3, you're going to go to the Language Arts teacher for Mr. Kowaleski's team, which is Miss Thomas. So again, all Language Arts teachers, or all Language Arts classes, are for the Kowaleski team in 8th grade are going to go to Miss Thomas for Language Arts, and all Social Studies classes are going to go to Miss Kreitman. Again, this is just Mr. Kowaleski's team in 8th grade. If you're in Language Arts class, you're going to go to Miss Thomas's during your core class, and if you're in Social Studies, you're going to go to Miss Kreitman for that class. And you'll see that Miss Cherry's team, which is originally where Miss Elvers was, now has Mr. Savo as the Language Arts teacher. So if you are on the Cherry team for 8th grade, Mr. Savo is now your Language Arts teacher. Again, all Social Studies classes for Mr. Kowaleski's team will go to Miss Kreitman, and all Language Arts classes for the Kowaleski team will go to Miss Thomas's class. Again, you're still going to report to that same period. Elective classes are broken down the same way. So we have our special programs classes, we have our global and world language classes, helpful living classes, ESL, intervention, CTE, and arts classes. Again, all of the teachers have their tiles, which will link you to their website. We realize it's going to take some time for people to get comfortable with this system, but we welcome questions. We also know that people are still getting technology from the county, so we understand that we don't expect to start with full implementation of 1,300 students on Monday, but we're confident that with this system, we're going to streamline things as much as possible, make it as easy for parents as possible, because we know that you're juggling quite a bit these days. So we appreciate your flexibility, your patience, and if you do have questions, don't hesitate to send an email to me or your grade level administrator or your counselor, as everyone can be super helpful and provide the information that you need. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend.